Hello friends, welcome back. So I'm super excited because this week I've got guppies back in my fish tanks, and the very few things I enjoy more than keeping and breeding guppies. And in today's video, I want to share with you 7 tips for making your guppy fry grow faster. Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Richard and I'm a fish and shrimp keeper based in the UK. So tip number 1 to make your guppy babies grow faster is to make sure you're feeding them enough food. Now, many of us are guilty of when we feed our fish once a day, sprinkler flake, job done. When it comes to getting your guppy babies to grow quickly, they need to be fed far more than once a day. In fact, many people are surprised to learn if you really want your guppies to put on some size, you need to be feeding them between 4 and 8 times a day. Now, the important thing to mention is each feeding should be relatively small. You don't want to chuck a great fistful of food in 8 times a day because you'll just pollute your tank, destroy your water quality, your fish will die, it'll be a disaster. But if 4, 5, 6, 7 times a day, you're putting in a small pinch of food, enough that they will consume it within a few minutes of it being added to the tank, you will find your guppy babies really put on size quickly. In the wild, guppy babies would be eating continually from dawn till dusk, anything that came their way. They literally don't stop eating from morning till night. And if we can recreate that in our aquariums, you'll be astonished at how quickly your guppy babies will grow. When I'm trying to grow my guppy babies, I will get up and I will feed the fish. Then typically, I'll feed them again before I head out to work. As soon as I return from work, I will give them a feeding. Later that evening, again, it's time to feed the guppies. And before I go to bed, before lights out, I will give them yet another feed. That's 5 feeds in a day. And at weekends when I'm not at work, I feed them in the middle of the day as well. The more you feed your guppies, the faster the babies will grow. Now, tip number 2 is very much related to tip number 1 in that it matters what you feed your guppy babies. Now, if you're feeding your guppy babies 5, 6, 7 times a day, but every day you're just giving them a pinch of the same flake, you're not giving them enough variety. You need to really be changing it up almost every time you feed them. Now, I personally feed my baby guppies flake food, crushed up pellets, baby brine, cyclops, bloodworm if the babies are big enough to take it. I also feed them frozen daphnia, and I'll give them a lump of rapashi gel food to pick at. Essentially, the more variety we can give to our baby guppies, the greater the range of vitamins and minerals and nutrients we can give them, the faster they will grow, the healthier they will be, the bigger and more colourful they will end up. Variety really matters when it comes to feeding your baby guppies. Now, tip number 3 is to put the baby guppies into a larger volume of water. When it comes to baby guppies growing, the volume of water they're in matters. Now, I've got a breeding foursome of yellow tiger guppies in this 12-inch cube up here, but that tank only holds around 7 gallons, around 27 litres of water. And if those 3 females each kick out 30 babies, that puts me the best part of 100 fish in 7 gallons, which is doable, but it doesn't really work with growing your babies faster. So the best thing I can do is to take out those newborn babies and perhaps put them into a 29 gallon or a 40 gallon or some sort of a tote that I've got that holds a decent volume of water. The more water you keep your baby guppies in, the lower the levels of ammonia and nitrates and hormones and whatever else may be present in the water. When that is diluted, it allows our baby guppies to grow at a faster rate. So I would always recommend taking your baby guppies and put them into the largest volume of water you can, ideally in a dedicated tank just with those babies. The more babies you have, the more food you can feed them before you start to affect your water quality, which in turn means your baby guppies can grow faster. So it really does matter the volume of water you grow your baby guppies in. Now, tip number 4 will help you if you can't move your baby guppies into a large dedicated tank, and that is to carry out lots and lots of regular water changes. Now, for exactly the same reasons as we want to put the baby guppies into a large volume of water, if we carry out lots of large partial water changes, we remove the buildup of ammonia, nitrates, hormones, chemicals, anything that might restrict the growth of our baby guppies. I will typically carry out a 50% water change at least once a week, if not twice a week, when I'm trying to grow a colony of guppies. And apart from anything else, by carrying out those large regular water changes, means I can feed more food without the danger of polluting my tank. Now, whilst this video is on the subject of growing baby guppies, many of you will know I recently wrote a book dedicated to Neocaridina shrimp, and I'm delighted to say in this video, I'm able to give away a free copy of the Neocaridina Shrimp Handbook. All you have to do to win a copy is to leave a comment below telling me why you love keeping shrimp. I will then randomly select one comment, and providing that person is subscribed to the channel, I will contact them and arrange to email a free copy of my book. So tip number 5 to growing your baby guppies faster is to provide them with lots of hiding places. Now I know what you're thinking, how on earth do hiding places help our baby guppies grow faster? And the answer here is, the more hiding places you have, the less stressed your baby guppies are. And research has shown that fish that are kept in a stressful environment don't grow as fast as fish who are kept in a stress-free environment. Now, it seems just about every fish we keep enjoys eating baby guppies. Baby guppies are the food of choice for anything with a mouth large enough to eat them. So if you want to keep the stress levels down for your baby shrimp, provide them with lots of hiding places so they can always get away from the adult guppies, the mollies, the platies, the angelfish, whatever else you've got in the tank. Now personally, I like to provide hiding places in the form of live plants and especially Java moss. A good clump of Java moss is ideal for hiding baby guppies. But I also like to provide lots of piles of rocks or pieces of wood, anywhere that provides hiding places so those baby guppies can get away. They can dart into a pile of rocks, they can shoot into the Java moss, they can head behind the wood, whatever it might be. So the more hiding places you have for your baby guppies, the less stressed they will be and the faster they will grow. Now, tip number 6 also comes down to research that's been carried out, and that is to increase the temperature of your water. The research has shown the warmer your aquarium water is, the faster the baby guppies grow. If you keep your baby guppies in the low 70s, they will still grow, but they will grow slower than if you keep them at 78, at 80 degrees. The warmer we keep our guppies, the faster their metabolism runs, the easier they find it to digest the food and get the goodness from the food they're eating. And as such, the faster they will grow. Keeping your guppies in the high 70s and feeding them several times a day almost guarantees they will grow faster than somebody else who's keeping their guppies perhaps in the low 70s and not feeding them as much. Now, tip number 7 is to closely monitor your guppies and make notes. Make notes of what's working and what isn't working, and refer back to those notes every time you breed more guppies. If you spend time looking into your tank and noticing, well, yeah, the warmer I keep them, the more food I give them, the faster they grow, then when you get your next batch and refer back to your notes, you will be able to identify what is and isn't working. Some things may work for you that don't work for me. Some things that work for me won't work for you. But by monitoring what's going on and keeping notes and referring back to those notes each time you have another batch of babies, will not only make you a better guppy keeper, but will also help you recognize what's working for you and apply it to each subsequent batch of babies. Meaning those babies should end up growing faster, being healthier, growing larger, being more colorful. We learn by doing what works and not doing what doesn't work. And the best way to do that is to keep copious notes about your fish. Now, as mentioned earlier, I'm a huge fan of keeping Java moss in all my guppy tanks. And if you want to know how to grow huge clumps of Java moss, watch this video next. Thanks for watching.